What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 here on Big 12 Hoops. In this video, it is Friday currently. I'm making this after my welcome video, my first video. That's why I have like the same shirt on and this drink's the same, because it's like 30 minutes after I just finished that one and uploaded it. But I'm going to be making my predictions, my picks for tomorrow's Big 12 slate of games. There are 4 Big 12 games. The West Virginia game got postponed. They were supposed to play TCU. Yes, they were supposed to play TCU, but that's not going to happen for a little bit. The 4 games are Iowa State and Kansas, Baylor and Texas Tech. That's a goodie. Kansas State and Texas, and Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. So we'll start with kind of the lower end of those 4 games, and we'll go with the Kansas State and Texas game. This ESPN here has, ESPN's BPI has Texas with a 95% chance to win, leaving the Cats only a 5% chance to beat, as of now, the 4th ranked team in the country. I'm sure that'll change after Texas's loss at home to Texas Tech. Although Texas Tech is a really good basketball squad, Texas will drop a little bit in the rankings. If I had to guess, they'll drop somewhere around 6, because KU lost this week to Oklahoma State, and they're at 6 currently. So I would assume that Texas will drop to around the 6th spot, 6 or 7. But that's besides the point. I'm going to give this one to Texas, obviously. Team rankings has the score Texas 78, K-State 62. I'm going to say Texas turns around and shoots the ball really well. Those guards are just off the charts. Andrew Jones, him and his story is just incredible. Let's see. Matt Coleman is great. Jericho Sims is an animal inside. He'll just, the second he catches the ball into the goal, it doesn't matter if you're on him or not, he'll jump up and slam it home. Kai Jones can score both inside and out. Courtney Ramey, his shot's just remarkable. And if I miss somebody and you're a Texas fan, I apologize, but those guys are just unbelievable. Andrew Jones averages 14 a game. K-State, on the other hand, leading scorer Mike McGrill, 12.5 a game on average. They just, it's not that they're a bad basketball team, they just haven't found an identity yet. They haven't found somebody who can go get a basket. If you were to talk to a K-State fan, they would probably tell you the same thing. They don't have a leader. And in college basketball especially, you need to have a leader, whether it's a big or a guard. You need somebody who you can count on to make a play on both ends of the court, especially in crunch time, and that's huge in the Big 12. And K-State doesn't really have that guy. They haven't quite meshed yet. Can they beat Texas? Yes, but will they? No. I'm going to go Texas by double digits at least. I'm going to say Texas, like I said, shoots the ball well. I'm going to go Texas 82, Kansas State 65. So kind of close to that team rankings prediction. The second game, this isn't in order. Kansas State plays Texas at 7 o'clock on the Longhorn Network. I don't like the Longhorn Network. I don't see why that's a thing. I'll put it on ESPN Plus at least. Also at 7 o'clock on ESPN 3, Oklahoma battles their rival, if you will, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has been hot as fire recently. That wasn't really the best analogy, but I said it anyways, hot as fire. But Oklahoma, after their loss to Kansas and Allen Fieldhouse and Lawrence, they played really well in that game, and they were missing Brady Manek, as they were in their game the other night against TCU, where they won 82-46 against a TCU squad that just after their 9-2 start just fell off. And Oklahoma rebounded really well after that loss in Lawrence, and they played really well, scored 82 on the Horned Frogs and held them to under 50 points. BPI has Oklahoma with a 61.3% chance to win, leaving Oklahoma State a 38.7% chance to win. Oklahoma State, on the other hand, obviously on a streak right now, we'll just say that. They beat KU, obviously. They were up 16 on KU with 9 minutes to go, I believe. The Jayhawks took a 3-point lead with 1.5 minutes to go behind David McCormick's 24 points inside. Well, not all of them came from the inside, but most of them. And Oklahoma State rallied and did what they needed to do on the defensive end down the stretch, as well as the offensive end. A big 3 in the corner by Isaac Likely to tie the game. Oklahoma State would go on to win that game by 5. They beat Kansas State before that one 70-54. But however, before that one, they lost to West Virginia by just 3 points. And then before that game, they beat Texas Tech 82-77. This is what I love about the Big 12. Anybody can beat anybody. I don't care who's at the bottom. Iowa State, I believe, maybe K-State. They could beat Baylor. Iowa State was giving Baylor fits for, I almost said 3 quarters, until the last quarter of the game. Like the last lower end 10 minutes of that game, they were giving Baylor fits. And then Baylor kind of pulled away and won that one by 13, 14 points. But I'm just telling you, I'm going to make a video about this. The game of college basketball is shifting. Everybody is good and anybody can win on any given night. This is a tough pick, honestly. I don't know if Manek is going to be back for the game. I'm going to try and find that out here real quick. I'm going to click on preview and see if Manek is going to be back for this one. It doesn't say on here if Manek is back or not, so I would assume that that would mean that Manek is out. But Oklahoma has lost their last 3 road games, and Oklahoma State is playing really, really well right now behind Cade Cunningham, averaging 17.8 a game. I'm going to say this is tight. I'm going to give it to the Cowboys, however. As a Jayhawk fan, I would like for Oklahoma to win just to kind of be a bump in the road for the Cowboys right now to slow them down in this Big 12 race. I'm not saying KU's going to win it by any means. Baylor's going to, probably. But I'm going to give this one to the Pokes. I'm going to say it's a battle. I mean, it's gritty on both ends of the court. I'm going to say both teams struggle shooting, and it's a lot of fouls called in this one. With the matchups that they have, nobody's so much better than the other team. They're kind of even. Neither team has a dominant big. They have good guards that can shoot the ball. Great matchups across the court. This is going to be a good and close one. I'm going to give it to the Cowboys. I'm going to go 67-63 Cowboys. For the third Big 12 matchup of the day, it's going to be Iowa State traveling to Lawrence, Kansas to take on the currently ranked 6th Kansas Jayhawks. They'll drop off, I would assume, maybe down to 10 possibly, which is probably where they belong, to be honest with you. Kansas is heavily favored to win this one. Let me try and click on here. Gamecast. Kansas from BPI has an 84% chance to win it, leaving Iowa State with a 15.7% chance to win it. Ochai Abaji's been great for the Jayhawks. Jalen Wilson was phenomenal for a stretch, and then he just didn't play that great. Was playing bad against Oklahoma, turned the ball over a lot, but then hit 2 big threes late, and then against Oklahoma State only scored, I believe, 6-7 points, maybe even less than that. But Ochai Abaji has just been as consistent as you could want him to be if you're Bill Self. Ochai Abaji's been remarkable. David McCormick, the last 3 games, I believe, has scored 19, 22, and 24, or those might be mixed around a little bit, but David McCormick's been exceptional. And if those guards can play well on the same night as David, watch out, these Jayhawks will beat you. Are they as good as they were last year? No. We were spoiled with Devon Dotson, and Udoka Azubuike on the inside could just score if he got the ball every time. Marcus Garrett was better last year. It's weird. I wonder if the pressure got to him this year. He was Naismith Defensive Player of the Year last year. Just unbelievable what he created for us offensively by using his hands on defense was just remarkable. But his ability to finish at the rim is pretty impressive, and especially down the stretch, he can hit some clutch layups. Iowa State, on the other hand, Rasir Bolton, their leading scorer, with just under 15 points a game. They also have, it's Solomon Young, a little bit bigger, taller player for them who can create a few things inside. If he can get David McCormick in foul trouble early, this could create some havoc for the Jayhawks, but they would just throw in Mitch Lightfoot, who would put in solid minutes. I'm going to give this one to the Jayhawks, especially coming off of a loss. We saw what they did to TCU, smoked them after they got smoked by Texas at home. Jayhawks coming off a loss. Guards will shoot well at home. David's going to continue, score double digits, 10 rebounds. Jayhawks win this one. I'm going to give it to them 84-70. I'm going to say Iowa State shoots half decent themselves and puts up 70 on the Jayhawks, but we shall see. They shouldn't score 70, but it's kind of hard as a KU fan. It seems like everybody shoots good against us, so I'm just going to give that slight edge to Iowa State on the scoring margin there. And the final game of the day. Well, it's not the final game of the day, but the final game that I'm going to mention in this video. 3 o'clock on ESPN, the Baylor Bears travel to Lubbock, Texas to take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Can the Red Raiders beat the Baylor Bears? Yes. Will they? I do not think so. Baylor's backcourt is unbelievable. I'd give anything for them to play Gonzaga. That game got canceled. They need to reschedule it immediately. That game would just be off the charts. Baylor is a great shooting team. They don't really have a dominant big. That is one of their weaknesses. Whereas if a guard can get in foul trouble, Jared Butler, Macy O.T., Davion Mitchell, one of those guys can get in foul trouble, and you can eat them alive inside, then they can maybe start to trip over themselves a little bit. But they're an awful great team. Jared Butler averages 16.4 a game. Jared Butler's just exceptional. Mac McClung, on the other hand, for the Red Raiders, just came off the biggest shot of his short time here at Texas Tech, maybe even in his career in college basketball. He hit a 3 late in Texas to knock off the 4th-ranked Longhorns just the other day. So he's playing really, really well. And he averages 15 a game, almost 16, like I said. Baylor's defense is crazy good. Oh, and Mark Vidal. I knew I was missing somebody. Mark Vidal is a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He's probably going to guard Mac McClung, if not Jared Butler, who is also an incredible defender, or Davion Mitchell, who is also an incredible defender and extremely fast. Probably the fastest on his feet out of those three is Davion Mitchell. Somebody's going to be all over Mac McClung. Now, good players, as I always say, no matter how good they are, you can put your best defender on them, they're going to get theirs. What I mean is they're going to score. Mac McClung's going to end up limping his way to double digits in this game. He'll get his shots. He'll get fouled, and he'll make his free throws. He's an 80% free throw shooter. He'll find his way to 12, 13, maybe 15 points a game. But if Baylor can make all those points hard for McClung, then it's going to leave it in the hands of somebody else, whether that be Terrence Shannon, Kyler, I think it's Kyler Edwards. It says K. Edwards. I'm pretty sure it's Kyler. Yeah, it's Kyler Edwards. Kyler Edwards is a pretty 6'4" junior. Kyler Edwards is pretty good. Terrence Shannon. The key to this win for the Red Raiders is going to be Terrence Shannon and Kyler Edwards. Santos Silva is a meh big. He averages 6 rebounds a game. It doesn't even have points per game on here. I think it's like 10, which is not bad at all, but he's just kind of I don't know, he's not dominant. Let me see what he averages a game here. Whoops, I got ads popping up. Okay, he averages just under 9 points a game, 8.9 points a game. He's just not dominant. But then again, Baylor doesn't have a dominant big, so we'll see how the battle in the paint goes. BPI gives Baylor a 59% chance to win, Texas Tech a 41% chance. I'm going to give this one to the Baylor Bears. I would love for Texas Tech to upset Baylor. If KU can take care of business at home against the Cyclones, then they play the Bears in Waco on Monday night, and that game would be to tie with Baylor in the Big 12 race if the Jayhawks can win that one, but we'll talk about that one later. We got to take care of Iowa State first. But I'd love for Texas Tech to win it, but Baylor's just crazy good. They're going to be all over Tech on the defensive end. Will Texas Tech score? Yes. They're at home shooting on their own goals. That does make a difference, at least from what I see. Teams tend to shoot better at home, not always. But I'm going to say Texas Tech gimps their way to 71 points. And I'm going to say that Baylor hangs 79 on them. I'm going to go 77. Baylor 77, Texas Tech 70. Texas Tech is too good of a team for Baylor to go in and just beat 80-60. It's not going to happen. I'm going to go Baylor 77, Texas Tech 70. That's going to be a phenomenal game that I hope I am wrong on. So there are the 4 Big 12 games for tomorrow, Saturday. It is January 15th, so tomorrow game day will be the 16th. I hope you guys enjoyed that video there. I know I ramble a little bit, but those are 4 really good Big 12 games, and I'll see you in the next one.